Yeah, so talking with Russell Porteous today, good friend of mine, also techno boffin, self-proclaimed guru of the internet and broadcasting. He has decided today we're going to be talking about his tech setup and how cool and funky it is. So, Russ, how you going?
We've had a bit of fun here. I've had no internet, and you've got no power. I think it's funny.
But other than that, it's working perfectly. So we were going to talk about something, but I think the fact that you've got a really funky setup and you've invested a lot of time checking it all out and buying all the good stuff, which is making your screen look way better than mine. So I'll just flick up so everyone can see. This is me in my lounge room. This is Russell in the spare bedroom at his joint, which is set up like some TV broadcast studio or something. So I wanted Russell to share what he's done. What's his secrets? So tell us about that, Russ.
So this is part of it's part of my personality to go to the extreme on everything. But the reality is that in my industry, everyone is the same. And so I was looking for a way to change things up so that not only were we delivering better than my competitors, but we're also delivering something to our customers of real value. And I wanted leverage. It's something you talk about a lot, David. So what I have done in the front room of my house, I've taken over it, is built a studio. And you're seeing the benefits of that studio now as we sit here, because the only difference between you and I is that I've got a black background and three-point lighting, and you don't. So I'm sitting in front of my MacBook Air.
Yep.
This is not my primary setup. It just so happened to be the first computer I grabbed, and I just quickly arranged lights, and I've got a light to my right and a light to my left. They're roughly at 45 degrees, so I'm pointing at them on that angle.
Give everyone a look at them.
We'll do that in a minute. So we'll look at three-point lighting systems in a minute, and I've also got one above my head and slightly behind me, so that if I wasn't sitting in front of the black screen that I've got behind me, you'd see a kind of grey. But because of the light that's above me, you can actually see the reflection a little bit on the top of my head. There's a light above me that's doing a lot of work. So how would it be if I turn each of them out and we'll see what it looks like?
Yeah, do that.
Natural lighting in the room. Hold on for a sec. I'll be back. You can keep talking.
So there we go. We've already gone to a grey background just because of you moving. So
it still looks pretty good, actually.
Well, as soon as you stood up, the background lit up as grey.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So I'm literally sitting in a room. It's not fancy lighting or anything, but you can see that you can't see any definition in my face, or it's probably more difficult to see my eyes. So I'll turn them back on. I'll turn them on one by one. Actually, I'll turn the one above my head on first, and then we'll turn the ones to the front on.
Okay.
So you can see the one above my head, and you can see that it's actually lighting the background a bit, but as soon as I turn the other two on, that disappears.
Yep. Right. Okay. So what it's done is you pushed the background right back, made it dark, and given good sort of resolution to your characters.
That's right. So I'm now popping out from the screen. So all I've got is the lights are. I can't actually find the brand of lights, but I purchased them from a retailer in Mount Waverley called Video Guys. They're temperature compensated LED lights. They do take battery packs, but I have them connected to mains power by I think they're 12-volt power supplies, and then I bought extension cables for them. So I think there's 4-meter extension cables, so I can move them around the room.
Yep.
So the background that I've got behind me
Mm-hmm.
is about, I don't know, about 2 meters wide and about 1.8 meters tall. So you're only seeing a small section of it in front of me right at the moment.
So just as a guide, what's a light like that worth?
I think they were about $200 each.
Yep.
But you don't have to pay that. You can jump onto eBay and buy. In fact, I'll show you something else I've got here in a second. That's really cheap. Just one sec. I didn't even think about this one.
Off you go. And while we're waiting for Russ, look, the thing here is, Russell's good at doing all the research. He just likes buying stuff. So good to know someone like that. It's sort of getting good reference on product. It's getting the contrast between the different things. And as you can start to sort of tell, Russell loves to have a bit of fun with this sort of stuff. So we're just talking about you while you're gone.
Yeah, I'll get to watch it later.
Right. Okay, so what do we got here?
Okay. So these are garden hose fittings with lights connected to them. And I've fed the power cords from these 240-volt lights. So this is an incandescent lamp.
Yeah.
And on the end of that lamp, I've got
garden floodlight, right?
Yeah, on the end of it, I've got a clip, so I can clip it to my desk.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see that, but I've got that clip there, and I can clip that to a tripod or something else that I've got.
Mm-hmm.
It's just made up of garden watering fittings. So for a long time, I actually used that one, and that gave me that was a bit too hot, that one, and then I've used a fluorescent light.
Right. So that there.
That one?
Right. That's got no direction on it. That's just like a normal light bulb, really, isn't it?
It is. So what I did, so this light fitting was really hot.
Yeah.
The fluoro was cooler, and I just got, you're going to laugh, but I got a couple of paper bags, and big paper bags, white ones, like you get at the shop.
Yeah.
And I then just simply covered them over the top, so it kind of created this glow rather than a hot light source.
On the fluoro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Beautiful.
So before I bought LEDs, that's what I had.
Okay.
So I put those
The LED. Do they need to be exceptionally bright, or just like 100 watt, or what sort of brightness?
The LEDs.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the cheap fluoro that I started.
Yeah.
That's probably the lowest powered fluoro you could probably get, I reckon. And you could, they don't have to be bright at all. Now I've got the LEDs in front of me, set up at the moment, almost at their lowest power setting. Right. That's how bright they are.
Okay.
So this is an array with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 24, maybe 48 by 48 LEDs in it. Because these are color compensated LEDs, I can actually adjust the color temperature. So I've got there's a row of 12 yellow LEDs and a row of white LEDs, and when you adjust the color temperature, it mixes the white and yellow together to give you a better color balance.
Okay.
So that's on the LED arrays. So yeah, 3 of those, say $500. So then they're all sitting on cheap tripods that I bought on eBay. I think they were $10 each, something like that.
Okay.
My wife has just asked me, can I ask you a question?
You
know, I'm talking. She's going to text me instead. Live.
God,
so 3-point lighting system. I'm sitting at just a timber desk on a garden chair in front of my MacBook Air, and for audio, I'm simply using my earbuds.
Yep.
Now that said, I can step that up a little bit because on my main system I have something a little bit more special. So do you want to do audio now?
Yep.
Okay. This was my...
Before we do, you talked about background before we started recording. So
Yes.
you had a couple of layers there. Do you want to just give me a bit of a sort of recap on
Okay.
that?
Yep. So as I said, I'm in the front room of my house,
Yep.
and behind me, you just see black.
Yep.
But what we've actually got is a huge 2 meter by roughly 1.8 meter backdrop, and
Yep.
it's got the backdrop has two layers.
Mm.
The first layer is just a matte cotton finish. I
Yep.
actually picked it up with the backdrop. I bought that on eBay as well.
Yep.
But what I discovered is that that black cotton finish was a bit see-through. So I ducked up to the local fabric store
Mhm.
and bought a large piece of, I don't know what I think it's like tablecloth material with a plastic backing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So on the top bar of the backdrop,
Mhm.
I've used some I don't know what they're called, like alligator clips to hold. There's a bar.
Yep.
There's a bar there, and I can clip on the bar the two backgrounds to give me that blackness that I want. But if I didn't have that, you would probably during the day you would see sun through it.
Okay.
So that's not good.
I think your
Bad
wife
colour.
just messaged you, by the way.
She did. She wanted to know if my niece can leave the light on so she can wander to the toilet in the middle of the night.
Excellent. So let's move on to the audio.
Okay. So as I said, at the moment I'm simply using my earbuds.
Yep.
Now you're on what sort of computer are you on at the moment?
Yeah, I'm on a MacBook Air as well, so I'm just using
Oh,
the microphone and the
yes.
speakers. Yeah, well, the quality is always pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. So I've got an earbud in, and I would always recommend that if you're going to do something live like this, that you want some sort of you want to have you don't want to use your speaker on your computer. You want to have something in your ear.
Yeah.
So on my main system, I have a set of dedicated headphones. I just happen to have some really good ones. Just a pair of, I think mine are Sennheisers. They're not here.
They
And
over here.
no, little one in my ear. You can't see it. And we might even have a little look in a little while how to do this on the super budget. I've already given you the lighting budget.
Yep.
I've seen online that people take a normal Apple earbud, like the one I've got in my ear right now, and they literally, instead of buying a proper lapel mic and all that sort of stuff, they get a black texter
Yeah.
and they color it in black so you can't see it. So
Right.
you can for about $20 on Amazon, you can buy a really good pair of headphones and a lapel mic.
Okay.
So and you just plug it in your computer, and you go up from there.
Mm.
So I tried a few different things for microphones. I was really unhappy with the quality. I think I sound a bit tinny when I'm using these headphones.
Yep.
And I didn't like that tinniness. I sound a bit nasally naturally anyway, and I wanted to get rid of that.
Mm.
So I went and saw the guys in Richmond at DJ Audio and got some advice from one of their pre-sales guys there. And I ended up buying a thing called a
Yeah, I got one of those.
Focusrite 2i2.
Yeah,
You get the
Focusrite.
2i2 or the...
Yep, exactly the same one.
Oh, okay, cool. And you're not using it?
Oh no, not today, but I use that because I'll talk about what I do. It's exactly the same one.
Okay. I had a lot of concern. Oops. I had a lot of concern in buying that, insofar as the drivers for Apple Macs weren't available when I got it, and I took a punt, and then thankfully, my son's just walked in the front door. Thankfully, Focusrite did some stuff, and Apple released a new version of the operating system, and it works like a treat. But it works fine on PCs. You just got to install the drivers.
Yeah.
For a microphone,
Yep.
So yeah, I have an XLR connection
Okay.
from the Focusrite to. This is where it gets really serious.
Oh, Jesus. An ET1. That's pretty serious.
That is very serious.
Holy.
That is a brilliant microphone, but it comes with a little story. So that's a Rode NT1, and it just makes you sound like, I don't know, Tony Bennett, really. And it's really good. I have mine mounted on a desk stand with a shock mount, so you just don't get, like, every now and again you're probably hearing the ticks and the tacks from my earbuds tapping on the wooden desk and things like that. But with the NT1 with the shock mount and the desk, the shock mount and the desk stand, you don't get any of that. It just sounds marvelous.
So, I'll just give you my setup, because I do my webinars using this computer. I plug in the Scarlett, exactly the same box as yours, but I plug in my my lapel mic, right, which is a what do you call them? Lapel mics, blah 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 blah. I've just lost the name of them.
Sennheiser or something?
Sennheiser. So it's a standard Sennheiser lapel mic, a wireless one. So I wear that there on my lapel, and it's wireless, and the other plugs straight into the Scarlett, plugs straight into the computer. So I can now stand up in front of a whiteboard, and I'll just do a presentation as my webinar.
Yeah, one to many.
Yeah. So I sort of took the logic that there's a lot of people that use PowerPoint slides and they hide behind the slides, and that's all nice, you know. But in my profession, I do presenting for a living, and I do a good job of doing a stand-up presentation in front of a whiteboard. So we just conveyed that across the screen. It works brilliantly. But I'm going to steal some ideas though.
What are you going to get? Which bit? What's the first one on your list? Lighting.
The lighting has to come in, right? Because really, like, it's interesting that the camera on the computer's satisfactory. The microphone setup that I've got, because I'm standing up talking, I need the lapel mic. And so it's the same mic I use if I'm in front of a big audience. So it's not cheap, right? It's $1,000 worth of mic. But I use it whenever I'm doing a presentation.
That's the next thing on my list is the Sennheiser kit. I was actually, funnily enough, I was looking at them last night.
Yeah. So there's a couple of options. I think the one I've got's got a unidirectional little mic that looks like a little balloon, about the size, about a centimetre round. And there's a smaller one which is like a micro mic, which is a little bit more sort of directional. But I think the key is, if you're going to stand up and move around, you need to have a mic that's attached to you. If you're going to sit at a desk, having something like you've got there, the Rode mic is probably going to give you that depth. Because a certain mic will not give you that. But that's good. All right, so how much is a mic like that worth? Just a guide?
Yeah.
I might be listening.
I think off the top of my head, it's about $700, that microphone, plus the $100 for the desk stand and shock mount. So you're probably looking at about $800.
Have you heard about the Snowball mic as well? Did you look into those ones?
Yeah, they're all USB microphones, and this is an XLR microphone with the 48-volt phantom power and stuff. And the difference in quality is only marginal. The problem I had is in listening to podcasts online was that every now and again I'd hear people using USB powered microphones, and then on Macs, about 40 minutes in, they'd start to get crackling and humming, and then they'd have to shut everything down and restart it. And I don't know what that is. I just didn't want that.
Okay. It's a fair point. Just more professional equipment, right?
Yep. Now, I probably didn't explain one thing as to why I have a studio the way I have, and that's to do video. So I'm going to turn my computer around a little bit, and you'll see up here, I've actually got a fire panel mounted in the front room of my house, and that's there so I can teach and train people how to operate a fire panel. It's part of our USP, unique selling proposition. And because I don't do everything expensive, I've got a really cheap, inexpensive Kodak 1080p camera. I've actually got two of them, so I've got multiple camera angles when I do my shoots, and I also use my iPhone. I find that my iPhone, as long as I've got it on a tripod mount, actually does probably the best footage of everything that I've got. But I'm in the process. I've been looking for probably a year, so I'm very patient when it comes to this stuff, to buy a new camera that I can control the aperture and the focus and things like that. So that's kind of what I've got there. Do you want my last little bit of cool kit?
Yeah, just from a technology point of view. So if you're recording two cameras, we'll get to that in a minute, whatever that is. Just leave everyone in suspense for a moment, would you? I think I know what it is, but we'll get there. So if you're using an iPhone to do video recording at the same time as, say, the camera on the computer, how do you then synchronize it all up?
There's a time code. Don't ask me. It's too much technology. I don't have to do the editing. I have somebody else that does that for me.
Okay. So do you send that off overseas, or do you have someone local?
Both. But I actually have my son who acts as a producer.
Yeah.
And I have a friend, and we do a bit of a swap. He uses my studio, and he produces and directs as well.
Yep.
And so he uses my studio for his setup. But he's got he runs a commercial cleaning company, and so he's got plenty of experience as a director and producer of video.
Right. So really, what happens is you do all the recording of the raw footage. You give it to a producer. They make it all magically joined together.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, so they do. I just give them the files, and I give them access to that via Dropbox. Nothing complicated.
Okay. Cool. All right, you better show us that other bit of kit.
Okay, this was the first bit of kit that I ever bought in this area. It's my Zoom, and it's a H4n digital voice recorder that has spot for my XLR microphones. Oops, wrong end. In the bottom, so I can plug in great microphones. And what I have been known to do is to go to trade shows and interview people for podcasts. So this lets me carry it around and record fantastic audio quality. I think these are about $400 off the top of my head. You probably get them cheaper if you scout around on eBay or something. But it lets me record almost like a ninja. So I'm in and out before anybody can kick me out of the trade show.
So really, that sort of has two mics crossing over at the top. So you've got directional pickup without picking up all the noise around you.
I would literally sit it in front of me. I'll take it out of the packet with the person I'm interviewing on one side, me on the other, like this, and record. But I can plug in extra microphones. Initially, before I had a decent microphone for recording on the video, this was the thing that I used to record all the audio for the videos.
Okay.
So it's just mounted it on a tripod. I've probably inside this room, I've probably got 10 tripods set up with different things on them. So I showed you that the two light fittings that I made earlier, they both have their own tripods as well.
Okay.
There you go.
That's very serious.
That's my studio.
That's your home studio. That's what we wanted to know about it. We actually didn't, but it became interesting when you started talking about it, so we thought, bugger it, let's record it.
Yeah, we can go on to objective key results some other time.
So that's good. Look, Russell, thanks for sharing. I mean, it's nice that you invited us in your home and shown us all your cool bits. Hopefully someone who's watching this says that's a great idea, or they might actually comment and say, I've got a better idea. I mean, the only other thing, I don't know if I'd add anything to that other than, like I said, I use a lapel mic. I did pick up a USB Rode mic, which was way cheaper. I think it was like a couple $100. I found that it was so big and cumbersome, I just seemed to stick with the lapel mic because it gives me that freedom just to chat without having something sitting in front of me.
I think the Rode would be good if you had it on a desk if you had like some sort of setup like I have here, my other normal desk is directly opposite me in the room, and it has all the setup with the audio for doing podcasting on it. But you're seeing kind of the video part of that at the moment. I don't normally do video like this. I normally present something else.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. All right, well, look, thanks again for your time. That was a sort of unexpected topic, but a good topic nonetheless. And we'll have to book another session to continue with the other one.
Yeah, cool.
So I'll just here. I don't know how to do this. I'm stopping the broadcast. Give me a second.